My guest is Chris Pease. Now, Chris is one of our brilliantly talented local authors, and you have just got yourself a book published, Chris, haven't you? Do you want to tell everybody what it is, the name of it, and what it's all about?
I have, yes. So my first novel is called Under the Skin, and it's a science fiction horror novel based in the town of Greyton, which is actually based on Byron Furness. So the book was kind of inspired by the events through lockdown and with COVID. So it's kind of like a Stephen King approach. So the story follows the main character, Emily Farragher, and her family as they experience the outbreak of an alien virus. And it follows their story, sort of trying to survive and escape.
Would you say that Stephen King is a great influence on your writing then?
Definitely, there was a lot of different influences. I'm a science fiction nerd, a horror nerd, anything with aliens, and if it was something a bit strange, I've probably gravitated towards.
Fantastic. How long did it take you to write it then?
From the point of starting the book, I would probably say maybe about 9 months of writing before all the fun bits of trying to edit it with my editor, Catherine, who kindly helped me work out all the kinks.
Yeah, that must be the hard bit, actually.
Yeah, that's probably the worst part. More because I apparently like to use the word casually quite a lot. So there's a few tweaks here and there for that.
Right. That must be interesting to have some fresh eyes on your work. Have you written anything before?
No, this is my first completed novel. I've always wanted to write something, but with having a young family and sort of starting out with work, it's never sort of happened until kind of lockdown gave me that moment to try and keep myself busy during the being stuck at home. So yeah, I think this has been my first one I've ever completed. I've got lots of started efforts, sort of like between over 1,000 words or 50,000 words, but I've never had the opportunity to truly close out an actual book.
Well, congratulations. Let's listen to a bit of music, shall we, and come back and talk about the mechanics of writing a book, which also always fascinate me because I can't get my head around it. We're joined by Chris Pease this afternoon. He is a local author. He has just had a book published, which he wrote during lockdown. It's a sci-fi sort of horror type, Stephen King type novel, Chris, isn't it? How do you actually go about writing a book? You know, what's the planning process, or do you just sit down and write?
My planning process is always strangely enough, I always have the ending in mind first. So I always work with the ending and then go back to the beginning to work out how the characters are actually going to get there. I've always got sort of like, there's always having a little movie playing in your head and you think, oh, that would be really good. But how are they going to get there? How is this exciting scene going to happen? So I tend to work at the end and then try and piece all the things together, how these characters are going to start out and work our way into the middle and how it meets in the end.
Do you actually write that out? Do you have a big ideas board? Do you have like Post-it notes everywhere or fancy technological stuff to help you?
A bit of both. I think I started before I got my computer. I didn't have anything to write with, so I kind of just had a bit of pen and paper, the old school writing utensil that we all have. So I've got about 3 notebooks full of bits and pieces and sort of ideas that maybe didn't make the final cut, so to speak. But a lot of it, once I nailed down the story, was on the computer. So I'd use Microsoft Notes to kind of have it on one end of the screen so I can glance and think, hang on, how's this character going to link here and who's going to talk and how do they get there?
Yeah, that must be quite hard to remember all the sort of subplots which are going on and how they all sort of link in together.
Yeah, I always hate having too many characters. I hate sort of, if there's 30 characters, I'm thinking, I don't know how I'm going to keep track of all these. So with this one, I tried to make sure there wasn't too many characters. There wasn't too much to remember. So I think there's only really about sort of 4 or 5 characters that are important. The rest are all sort of like in the moment conversational pieces.
Yeah. Let's play a little bit more music and come back and talk about the publishing process. Chris Pease joins us this afternoon. He's a local author, written a sci-fi book. What's it called again, Chris?
It's called Under the Skin.
Under the Skin, based loosely on Barrow in Furness. You'll probably recognise some of the places if we were reading the novel. Now, this is a self-published novel. So how do you go about doing that?
A lot of people think that self-publish is probably quite easy, but I think it's almost as stressful as trying to find somebody to publish your work. You're almost the one-man band. I think without my editor and a few people who sort of had a look at the story initially, to be able to format the book into a real paperback effort, it was quite tricky. I think there's still, even though the book's released, there's still a couple of niggles that I've not quite been able to sort out. But it's all a learning curve to me, and to have this is my first project. I used to race go-karts quite a lot, so when lockdown came, I lost that. So this has become my little pet project. So I quite like having almost full control of the whole process of it, including like the marketing and so on. Yeah.
And are you writing another one?
I'd be lying if I said I wasn't already trying to write another one. But I say I've got one. Hopefully, I intend to try and finish it for the end of the year as science fiction detective, way into the future. Not Cumbria related, but I've got a couple of others in the pipeline. So I'll be kept very busy in the years to come, hopefully.
Oh, that's excellent. Now then, where can we get hold of this book?
So the book, which I can happily show you here, it is available on Waterstones' website. You can order it online for home delivery or click and collect in the shop. And you can also buy it online on Amazon, and is available as an ebook as well if you're partial to a digital book.
Excellent stuff. Well, all the best to you. And we hope to be back talking to you at the publication of book number 2.
Thank you so much. Back again. Thank you.